That concludes our church service this evening, Brett.
So while that was happening, I sent a reminder to myself in the marketing channel in our Slack to remind me next week to change that video.
Yeah. I think it'd probably be good to do that. I mean, this is funny. Guys, good evening. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Michael Clark here, Brett Waltz, Spam Weather. We're going to update you on current radar, thought projections here over the next, really we have about another, I don't know, about 16 hours of this storm left.
Yeah, still have that lull tonight that we'll get into here probably 6 hours from now, closer to midnight. We'll chat about that and kind of time that out. But then freezing drizzle coming in, sleet, it's still snowing heavy with freezing rain down south as well. And then the deformation band we've talked about, kind of that backside snow that's going to come through and provide some additional light accumulations tomorrow morning. And so a long duration event, basically a 24-hour event almost.
Yeah.
You don't get those very often. So that's the kind of the key to this one is it's not snowing super heavy throughout the event the whole time. I do think we're going to get some heavy snow here in central Indiana over the next couple of hours. But, looking back to see if it started yet. But it's duration. This is what's driving the higher snowfall totals with this one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll go in and share the screen here, and I've got a couple things I want to share with you guys. First and foremost that I'll share is this is just a look at local Doppler radar. And local Doppler radar, it's going to show up as if it's all green, but this is actually, obviously it's snow here. But I want to put this into motion for you. These yellows and oranges and stuff that you see, these are really, really, really heavy snowfall rates that are moving into the area. In fact, it's going to be by far the heaviest snowfall rates that we've seen here today for sure. Now we're out here in Greenwood, Franklin area, Bargersville. We're right here, myself and Brett and Vince. I'm here, and Brett and Vince are here, and we're all sitting at around roughly 4 inches of snow right now with how much has fallen, and which actually is a little ahead of schedule. A lot of, I want to make sure we understand that there's still a lot to go here. We're not, we're kind of halfway through the first wave now. We've got about another, 5 hours or so of snow, but this particular band here that's moving in, this is a very heavy band, very heavy snowfall rates that are probably going to be somewhere to the likes of an inch to maybe even some of these in here could be falling at inch and a half rates per hour. As these are some very, very heavy returns. I wouldn't be shocked, Brett, to see a bolt of lightning out of this, or not a bolt, but like a flash of lightning, if you will.
Yeah, there was a report in Southern Illinois with freezing rain earlier of lightning. So thunder ice, I guess, is what you would call that.
Yeah.
It's not out of the question at all. And yeah, I agree. I personally, over the last hour, I've had about an inch of snow at my house in Franklin,
Mhm.
uh, give or take a little bit. And the returns coming towards us are quite a bit heavier than what we've had over the past hour. So, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if there were a couple hours in here that from Bloomington to Franklin to Greenwood got an inch and a half to locally higher snowfall rates per hour.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So this morning I was looking for the map. Early this morning, I posted this map. I want to share this with you guys because we've had a lot of talk about north north of Indy with just a lack of snow. Like
Mhm.
pretty much, guys, like here north, there hasn't been a lot of snow. Now it's filling in and it's snowing up here, but listen, I want to tell you guys, we really did try to hone in on this. We tried to. I'm going to share the. I mean, we really tried to talk about this. I posted this morning, um, and even though the snow totals show this on the map, we were concerned that there would be a very sharp gradient and a very sharp cutoff. That's still the whole deal right now. You can see Brett's throwing reports across the screen here of people that are saying how much they've had. That's pretty cool. We appreciate that. If you guys can keep doing that, send us how much snow you've gotten where you're at. That's very helpful. But just keep in mind this north side stuff, guys. This was in the idea. This was the thought process. A sharp cutoff, a sharp gradient. It's frustrating for people. Totally understand that, but it's just that's part of this forecast.
Mhm.
So, just something to keep in mind there. Now it is filling in. Again, I do want to share this screen here.
Yeah,
Replace
and
with
Michael,
yeah.
real
Go ahead.
quick, just to add on to that, the model we showed this morning, as of 5 p.m., here are the snow totals that should have happened as of 5 p.m. from what we showed this morning. Bloomington 4.7. I just saw a 5-inch report. Indy 1.4. I know the airport had reported 2.4. Franklin right at about 3 inches. I've got 4 inches at my house. Muncie 0, Tipton 0, Kokomo 0, Lafayette 0. So
I have the map right here. I'm going to share it so you can
yeah,
this morning's live. This is where we said snow would be right now for accumulation.
yeah, there it is.
So we're ahead across the I-70 corridor. We're ahead of what we said this morning where we thought we would be, and there's still more snow to come. I mean, so this is where we thought we'd be right now. So just that's perspective. South of Jasper, look at that, 7 inches. It's perspective. There's still a lot of snow to come with the system here over the next few hours. So great reminder there. Not making excuses. If we're not going to nail the forecast everywhere, it's not possible. We're going to miss spots, and some
So
people.
so how about this real quick?
Yeah.
Louisville, as of 2 hours ago, and it's snowing again there, 7.7 inches of snow.
Wow.
So an overachiever down there along the river, which also kind of gives you an idea of some of the snowfall rates that are heading our way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. Let me go over here to current radar. We'll go to the Clarity radar. And for those of you that would love access to Clarity Radar, you can go to claritywx.com/signup, or you can scan the QR code there. This is a look at radar updates every 2 minutes, precipitation type. Got a neat little feature where we can tilt it and kind of get a different view of things, to see what's coming, what's going on all over the place. Yeah, love it. Love the Clarity tool and the Clarity platform. But nonetheless, we'll go back here to the flat view and kind of zoom this in a little bit. And again, you can see just how much is still left to deal with. We paused the radar here. That's the 532's, the last frame. We do have some icing going on down across southern Illinois, southern Indiana, portions of Kentucky, which we really talked about. Note out here in central Illinois, all right, and in Missouri, where you're starting to see this hole here, and that's going to kind of be that's the dry air working in, and then this backside wave, that's the deformation banding, that's the banding that will come as a round two. All right. There will be a round 2 to this. And we're going to time that out for you right now and show you the anticipated additional snowfall totals and the anticipated additional ice totals here as well. Love that. Indy St. Vincent, 86th Street, 2.5, close to 5 inches in Connorsville. Absolutely love getting live snow reports. Corden has about 8 inches. Jessica, Todd, thank you so much for that. Guys watching, tap the share, tap the love, the heart, the like button, drill it down, comment, share it with a friend, tag a friend, follow the channels. We appreciate all the interaction and all the support you all have been giving us. Let's get into the future talk here on clarity, by the way. Brett, my window looks like it's like zoomed in or something. Have I done something wrong to this?
It looks like our scale is up.
There it is. Thank you. Yeah. So this is the Clarity platform, and you can go and get the future radar tool if you want, and time all this out. I'll zoom out a little bit, view actual size, and then we'll kind of look at. We'll tilt this a little bit so you can get a good kind of view here on the weekend in total. And we'll go forward here with a forecast radar view. I'm going to take it out to about 8 o'clock tonight. Now, when you see these really dark blues, these really dark blues are indications here of really, really heavy snow. All right. What a beautiful image here, though. I love the Clarity of weather models and future radar tools. It's so neat. It's so fast, and you can create your own domains. It's just one of my favorite things. But anyways, you can see here that the heavy snow 8 o'clock tonight still coming down, and it's going to continue to kind of work its way northward. This goes in 30-minute increments. All right, here's 9 o'clock tonight across central Indiana, still seeing some snow coming down. And then as we go forward here, here's 10 o'clock. Look at this. Look at 10:30 and 11 o'clock tonight across central Indiana. These dark blues still showing up, right? So these are still, for those of you that are, a lot of you are watching in central Indiana, it's still going to be snowing at 10 o'clock, Yeah. So something to keep in mind. Now, here's the dry punch. Here's the window of mixed precip that's going to move in. This is what we talked about since like Wednesday or something. I don't know, Thursday, whenever we start talking about this. And you can see the snow from central Illinois back through Missouri that will fill back in on the backside and bring additional snow. Let's time out when this is going to make its way north. 10:30, 11, 11:30. Look at 11:30. I mean, Brett, this has trended.
It's trended
more
heavier.
snow longer. Yeah. Would you agree?
I would 100% agree. And I do think that's worth monitoring because the snow did start early. The dry air to start wasn't as notable. So it definitely is worth considering that the dry air punch later could also be a little bit over modeled. And this would certainly indicate that that is a possibility, which would extend our snow window closer to midnight, which would also probably bump up those snow totals a little bit. If you think about if we get 1 inch per hour snowfall rates here in Franklin for a couple of hours this evening, it won't take much for us to get to 7, 8, 9 inches of snow before even the secondary little wave tomorrow morning comes in.
Yeah, it's a great point. Here's what I'm going to do, side-by-side comparison of something for folks watching real quick, just so they can, I want to do something a little fun. I like fun stuff. A lot of times
we try to have fun.
A lot of times I'll look at weather models and I'll look at current setups and compare them to see how they look and how they're performing. Okay. This is a fun practice to do, to just see, how things are doing here. Let me get this. There we go. On the right is current radar and on the left is future. I'll share that real quick. Entire screen 2. Voila. Look at that, Brett. On the left is future radar, okay, at 6 o'clock. All right. On the right is the current radar. Okay. So you can see on the current radar, you can see that the dry punch here and where the rain, snow, ice line is, relatively speaking, it's pretty good. I would say matching up to radar versus model, Brett. That doesn't really get much better.
No, no, especially the freezing line there,
Yeah, yeah,
which
it's
is
doing
really
great.
good, I've noticed. I had to double check, but the snow part of the reason that Louisville, that area down there, has overachieved a little bit is because the freezing rain has not come in as fast. It has stayed colder longer in those areas. And
Yeah,
so, Southern Indiana, Northern Kentucky starting to push in some of that freezing rain sleet now, but that has overachieved because the air has been a little bit colder and it stayed snow longer. And you can see that on both the future radar and the current radar. And so those folks down there probably getting one of their biggest snowstorms that they've seen, in several years, probably back to 2018, March of 2018, if I had to imagine. So
yeah.
that's probably the one area that maybe we were probably underdone with in terms of the snowfall totals, just because more is falling as snow instead of freezing rain. 1 degree. That's all the difference it makes.
Yeah, one county row,
Yeah.
one city. That's how tough this stuff is. Let's continue the radar tour here. Future radar at 11 p.m. tonight Eastern time. So if you're in Illinois or you're in Central, this is 10 p.m. for you. But again, you can see the darker blue indications. Central Indiana along south of I-70, getting over here to Ohio, Columbus, Cincinnati, out here towards West Virginia. These are all dark radar returns, 11 o'clock tonight. Deformation axis back out across Springfield and St. Louis. Again, you can see the whole storm. This is what's going to happen is as we continue to work throughout the overnight hours, here's 11:30, midnight, 12:30, 1 a.m. Note how you start seeing the holes in the radar here. And those
Mhm.
holes right now are about midnight to about 3 a.m. Now, let's call it midnight to about 5 a.m. to be safe. You see the holes and the returns here. From I-70 south towards Illinois, Vincennes, Bloomington, Columbus, Bedford, Seymour, Jasper, Louisville, southeast Indiana here, you could possibly include Greenwood. There's going to be a risk for some freezing drizzle on top of the snow tonight for a little bit. This has trended south a little bit, but I'll tell you about the additional to that in just a moment. As we go forward, were you going to say something, Brett?
Yeah, so somebody asked a really good question. Why would there be mixed precipitation with the temps still in the mid 20s? And I just kind of wanted, that's a great question. There's actually two different ways that that can happen. Number one is a warm nose in the atmosphere above the surface, where the surface is cold, but temperatures are actually above freezing above the surface in the atmosphere. So snow melts and then it refreezes either as ice or sleet at the surface. The second way is if the snow growth zone way up high, midway point through the atmosphere, is dry, you'll get super cooled water droplets to come down that'll either freeze as sleet or more often hit the surface as freezing drizzle or freezing rain. If you don't have moisture in the snow growth zone, then snowflakes can't form. So there's actually two different ways that you can get mixed precipitation with temperatures below freezing.
Yeah, and it's a bear to forecast. It's a bear. I mean, it's brutal. It's tough to forecast. It's so hard. It's so frustrating. so, um, so this is the second wave. This second wave, I think, primarily tomorrow is going to be focused along and south of I-70. I want to make that very clear. The second wave tomorrow is focused along where my mouse is and south of I-70. All right. Take it out to about 6. Here's 7 a.m. Snow's coming back down along and south of I-70. I have to say this several times because people get so mad at us for for that they're missing the snow north. And it's like, guys, I understand. I hate that you're missing it, but it's along and south for the second wave.
And
Uh,
we forecast the whole country, the whole Ohio Valley, and so when we say it's going to snow, it's not just everywhere along central Indiana and I-70. It can be different places, so it's really important to pay attention to, exactly what the sim radar here, Michael, is showing is saying.
yeah. 7:30 a.m., 8 a.m., 8 a.m. tomorrow. Okay. This is snowing pretty good. Now, One thing I want to mention about 8 a.m. tomorrow and the secondary wave, much colder temperatures at that time. And another cool part about the Clarity Pro platform is the future wind gust forecast. I want to take it out tomorrow between 4 and 7 a.m. on the latest run here. These are the forecasted winds, the gusts up to 40 miles an hour. So you throw that in there with additional snow and a little bit of a glaze of ice possibly, it's really going to be a nasty setup, and it continues. It's not done until tomorrow, closer to noon, across southern and eastern Indiana. So just keep that in mind, that this storm we're going to keep it snowing tonight, 6:45, 7:45, 8, 9, 10, possibly another 5 to 6 hours. All right. So this is something I wanted to pass along. We're going to toss the wind in with that as well. So additional snow throughout the remainder of the event. This is the next 24 hours. Again, I want to preface. I want to be very, very clear. If you are north of 70 and you're in the image here, Danville, Illinois, Lafayette, Frankfort, Muncie, Portland, Marion, Kokomo, Logansport, Bluffton, anywhere north here from 74 to 70 and points north, sharp gradient and cutoffs. Some of you are going to get a lot less snow than what's being shown possibly. Like Lafayette, we're showing 1.89 inches. Okay, that, you could get 3, you could get none. This is a very sharp gradient. There's a lot of Arctic air working in, and so it's a tough, high risk part of the forecast. Where it's going to continue to snow tonight, this forecast is from now until 4 p.m. tomorrow. It's the next 24 hours. So whatever you've gotten, this will be the additional amount. If you see the first color here, the first purple color, that's a 4 to 6 inch band. Okay, 4 to 6 inches possibly here, additional than on top of what you've gotten. The next one is a 6 to 8 inch band of additional snowfall. All right, so that's going to include places like Johnson County, Shelbyville, Rushville, Nineveh, Columbus. All right, Indianapolis, Brownsburg, Danville, Cloverdale, Brownstown, out west, Terre Haute. You're in that 4 to 6 inch additional snowfall range over the next 24 hours. All right. Out east, this is 8 to 12 inches of additional snow. Eastern Indiana, south central Ohio. Okay. Now, that's the additional snow over the next 24 hours. I want to show you the ice accumulation forecast over the next 24 hours. This is where you could start mixing in some ice along on top of the snow. Now, I will tell you, this forecast has trended south since this morning. That ice was getting up into Indy, Brett, and it may be that, the colder air is suppressing this, and keeping it. That's a good comment. That comment that you just had up, definitely more towards I-74 with the tight gradient between 70 and 74. We got 5 to 6 inches. Yeah, well, there you go. So anyways, could toss some ice in with this, some sleet. There is going to be a period overnight. I got to make sure you guys see my face when I say this. I say it with love. There's going to be a period overnight tonight where it's not snowing, and it might be sleeting and freezing rain and drizzle all the way up to the Indianapolis metro area and points south. All of southern Indiana, cut it in half. From 10 p.m. to 4 or 5 a.m., that's going to happen. Maybe not 10 p.m. It might be closer to midnight. I keep saying 10 because that's what it has been, but the newest data is kind of delaying that a little bit. Yeah. So, like, for example, what I'll show you here on the Clarity platform real quick is the hour by hour forecast for me, and I'm the blue dot. So I'm right here in west central Johnson County. Go back to my screen real quick.
And somebody asked a good question about the snow map you were showing, if that's in addition to what has already fallen.
Yes.
And it's probably what, the last hour and a half probably includes some of the snow that's fallen. But other than that, it is additional snow.
Not with this map. This was the 5 p.m. issue. So
it is the 5 p.m. issue. Okay.
Yeah, should be. So, I mean, it shouldn't include any because it updated right before we went live. So, but this is my hour by hour forecast here at home in central Johnson County. And this is additional snow out through, you can kind of follow along on the hourly forecast product. Note a couple things. We start to wrap it up tomorrow about noon or 1 with snow. All right. We started the forecast here. 6 p.m. forecast is the 5 to 6 p.m. snow accumulation. That's what that means. Anytime you see an hour by hour, it's the hour previous for the forecast. So 7 p.m. is the 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. window. For those of you that may not know that, that's how weather data works. Okay. But right now at my house here in Bargersville, I'm at about 4 inches, measured in a few spots. But the snow is it's fine, and it's blowing around. In fact, I blew my driveway off with a blower. I didn't have to plow it or shovel it. It puts me at an additional 6.8 inches of snow. All right, so that would potentially rival a double-digit snowfall total. You can see the high end, because what Clarity does is we include a minimum, a likely, and a maximum outcome for snow. The high end is pretty wild because it's still up to 11 inches. So some of this banding is really going to go to work on us. And I'm going to pull up Doppler radar again to show you what I'm talking about with the banding, because it is impressive. Closer to 6 inches in south of Franklin. Wow. Brett, would you agree with that? That seems pretty heavy.
I'm going to check here in 10 minutes and see what we're at. I would imagine that it's probably a little bit heavier than what I have here from what I've seen on the radar. And you can see that next band starting to kind of fill in. It's getting dark, so I can't really tell how heavy it's snowing right now. But yeah, I had 4 inches an hour ago. So here's another one that says almost 5 inches in Franklin. So if you're just south where some of the heavier bands have been, that I don't think I can rule that out.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm circling here for the most part, this is inch per hour, almost snowfall rates. This is probably 1.5 inches, almost 2 inch per hour snowfall rates. Upper level winds are going to carry this stuff east northeast here throughout the next several hours. So kind of like this, it'll continue to move that direction. So this is heavy stuff that's still coming in. 5 to 6 inches in Trafalgar, 5 to 6 inches south of Columbus. So you guys reporting 5 or 6 inches, I think you can get another 5 to 8 inches of snow, which is what we just talked about easily, especially under this stuff. This stuff is really, really heavy looking. So let me stop my screen share here. 6.5 inches in Seymour, Indiana. Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of the depiction for the rest of the storm. I mean, that's the thought process right now is, it's going to continue to snow. There's plenty of snow left over the next, 4 to 6 hours. So, yeah.
And for folks north too, we're getting a ton of questions about like Muncie and Marion and those areas up there. As Michael, to kind of reiterate what Michael said, that is where that sharp cutoff is. You have a lot of dry air up there that's being battled, but it should lift a little bit north and bring some snow towards you as we work throughout this evening.
You can see it in the scans, Brett. When on the reflectivity, you can see the just this trying to overcome. I'm trying to draw on it. It's not letting me. I think radar scope might need to restart here. Hang on. But you can see it eating away in the scans. The dry air is really, really tough on the snow. So
for sure. And again, as we mentioned, if you're just joining, at this point from what we showed this morning, those areas up in Muncie, Marion, Kokomo weren't supposed to really have snow by this point. So it's not a surprise that it's been pretty dry to this point up in those areas.
Yeah. Yep. That's a great point there. Here's radar. It's loading in, but it's filling in, but you're still battling a lot of dry air. Eric says he's anywhere from 4 to 4.5 inches out there in Danville, and then about 3 to 4 inches there in Avon, about 6 inches in Bedford. Freezing rain coming down 550 in Bedford.
Apparently. Let me look at the I'll look at the correlation coefficient real quick to verify that report. Yeah, there's definitely some mixing going on down there.
Okay. That's good.
Based,
That's actually very good intel.
yeah.
Let me go to that here.
Looks like I see certainly a lot of reports down in the Louisville metro area of mixed precipitation, ice, sleet, snow. And looking at the correlation coefficient down there, there's definitely mixing going on. Bedford, Paoli, Salem. So if there's other reports down there, certainly appreciate that. There's another 6-inch plus report in North Vernon, Indiana. Yeah, it does look like over the past couple scans, it's maybe struggling the mixed precipitation to come a little bit further to the north, but it's definitely moved north over the past hour, which isn't, I guess, incredibly surprising as it vexed some of the stronger forcing into the area, which may increase our snowfall rates along and south of I-72 from Greenwood, Franklin, and out towards the Greensburg area, probably.
Yeah. So when you're looking at the correlation coefficient, you can see where the freezing rain would be occurring. Then up here, where northeast of that line, you've got snow going on. And as Brett said, that's probably going to, if I go over here to the right, yeah, you can see what he's talking about. Look at the banding. Look at how dark that blue color is, snowing. The radar here, the local radar, really picking up well on the differences there. But you can see it's pretty close. Put this into motion. See that heavy banding is working here, kind of east northeast throughout the area, and then you're going to throw mixed freezing rain in with that. That's going to be nasty down there for a time. So.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that probably some of the heaviest snow so far is going to be working into the area, especially from Bloomington and points north. There's a report in Ellettsville, a visibility only of 40 yards, which kind of gives you an idea of how heavy the precipitation is moving through that area.
Wow. Yeah. Great intel there. Great report for that. Appreciate that. Guys, like and follow and share it with a friend. Keep telling friends about BAM Weather. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, follow the X account. We appreciate all your support, guys, throughout the duration here of the storm. It's been fun. It's been fun. I do want to wrap up the stream today, again with, for those of you watching, I do want to make sure you understand we did talk about this morning. This is the area where the lower snow totals are going to be of a concern. There's nothing we can do about that. It's just the way it's going to be. If you're in that black box, you're going to have a struggle with getting higher totals. It's just the way it's going to be. And that's the risk to this forecast. Not even a risk at this point. It's just the forecast. I want to go real quick here and show you, just for fun, I'll show you the HRRR to end the night with snowfall, because we have a new run come in. I'll show you what it's ending the event with here, and it's going to be pretty close to what I showed you over there on the Clarity platform. It's not going to be a whole lot different. Very, very similar. Again, you can note the additional sharp cutoffs here. This is additional snow throughout the end of the event. Look at this, Lafayette, Kokomo. You see how sharp that gradient is? Okay. And then down here across southern and eastern Indiana, you're going to catch the additional wave. So, whatever snow you have right now, you could arguably add this much to it. Okay. I'm going to get the color table down here a little bit. Let me go zoom in on one level here, go to the local view. But whatever you have right now, you can add to what you have based on the colors at the bottom of the screen. Okay. For the additional totals, here's the ice forecast. Again, you can see how it's struggling to get much further north than this, but nonetheless, as we just got the report out of Bedford, we're going to throw some freezing rain on top of this snow, and then we're going to mix wind in tomorrow morning. Keep that in mind. We're going to mix wind in and gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour. Okay. So nasty setup here. Real quick for the fun of it. Weekend system. Is there going to be another weekend snow system? There's definitely a storm on the models. Brace yourselves for the insanity in the model runs and the back and forth on the forecast and all the things. Friday night into Saturday, we could see another swath of snow move through. There it is on the Europeans weather model. It's possible another swath of snow Friday night into Saturday that would offer up the potential at more accumulation of snow. So that is something we are going to continue to monitor and certainly keep you posted on. I would say, Brett, that we're probably pretty much done with storm updates here with this storm, if and unless we get a hair up our butt or want to do something. Maybe tomorrow's band gets to be a little impressive and we come live and talk about the band. But otherwise, we appreciate it, guys.
I think we've covered about everything here. If you want additional updates throughout the storm, sign up for Clarity, scan the QR code. The really cool thing about Clarity is the team is going to be sending updates throughout the night. That's what it's for, and pushes directly to your phone. And so anytime that there was a nowcast sent not that long ago, you can look at it. Let's see what the latest one says here. Gives timing for snow showers up on the north side, tells you exactly how much you're going to get and when. There's one on the south side as well. Timing of heavier snowfall totals, that's about perfect. So that was from earlier. And they'll be continuing to update this as we go throughout the night. So
this gets sent right to your phone, guys, with Clarity.
Yeah.
So very cool stuff. It's really neat. So awesome, guys. We appreciate everything. Thank you so much. One last, I can look just real quick, the travel advisory map in Indiana. One last check here. I had it pulled up. There it is. You can see a lot are going into watches. Johnson's in a watch. A warning is inevitable. I-70 south. It'll be inevitable. So thank you again, everyone. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the follows. If you don't subscribe, follow the pages, do it now. Share it with a friend. We love everybody, and we thank you all for it. So thanks, Brett.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks, guys. And stay safe. Enjoy it.
Yep. See you. Bye.
See you. Bye.